You know what I thought of? I go to the movies every week, so I have to tell you guys what I think. I am back to do another movie review. The movie that I just recently went to go see. If you love action, then this is a movie that you need to see. It is so good, you guys. I'm telling you. Another movie review. Now, after watching this, if you like it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more of my movie reviews, go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you want to talk about my reviews, any of my past reviews, or just want to talk about movies, go ahead and leave me some comments. Now, you guys, the movie I went to go see is something that's been hyped up this whole weekend, and that is Scream Part 5, or just Scream, or just anything that has to do with Ghostface, because he has been around for such a long time. I mean, this movie has seen some ups and it has definitely seen some downs. Now, the up is Scream 1 to me. I think it is so good, the original with Drew Barrymore, but sometimes I always like the classic. I always like the first one, the original one, and then it's sometimes hard to live up to that original one. So as they went on with the different Screams, it was kind of hard for me to follow them. I did go and see them, but it was kind of hard for me to remember them. So I had to kind of brush up on the trilogy real quick before I came with this review. And I think that this one was a perfect end to the trilogy. I don't know if they're going to keep it going because they kind of left it open to keep it going. But I first of all want to let you know it's going to be spoiler alerts in this. The story that they put together, I did like it. I actually did. I was a little apprehensive because of the Wayne Scary Movie. I mean, I did not think that I could look at Ghostface serious after seeing him play a bumbling idiot in Scary Movie. It was just really hard with the characters and everything that was played. It is so funny, but yet I didn't think that I would be able to be scared when I saw the actual new Scream. But I was happily surprised. They had some good kills and scares. See, I like suspense. I'm not into just gory and horror. I like suspense. I like not knowing what's going to happen or when it's going to come. The other thing that I like about it is that, I'm sorry, I heard a noise. Look at me talking about Scream and got scared that quick. I was like, oh, what's that? So obviously it did its job. But the thing about Scream that I liked was the music. And I think in any horror movie, the music is the best part about it because it leads up to something going to happen and sometimes it doesn't. And I love the suspense in it. Like I said, it was really a complete jumper. A couple of times I was like, I really had gotten scared. And I think that was the best part about this movie. I do like the humor that was in this movie because, of course, I love comedy. So anything associated with humor, I'm going to like. But I like that they did it in a tasteful way. I do like the fact that they did all the references to the scary movies, to the Scream, actually. I like they did the references of all the other horror movies to kind of give like a tribute to all the horror movies and talk about how they're good, how they're bad. They were like doing their own little review in this, and that's what I really liked about it. That's what I can appreciate about this movie. Now, you did have most of the actors that came back. You had Screech Ulrich. Of course, I cannot say his name. If I can't say Iris Eldra. If I can barely say his name, I can barely say Skeet's last name. But they did kept showing the little cameos there. I wasn't sure if I liked having those cameos in there because I'm like, okay, she's crazy. She is the killer. But I know why they did it because they wanted you to think that maybe she was the killer. I like how you didn't really know who the killer was. It was almost like a whodunit, like a murder mystery, you know, because I really didn't know until the end who had did it. I kind of had an assumption, but I really didn't know who did it until closer to the end. And that's kind of the same way in the original Scream. I do like that they went ahead and used the same house that they filmed the first Scream in. I think that was a very good tribute to Wes Craven, who may rest in peace. And I like that they used his name on one of the characters, who is a wonderful up-and-coming actor who played in Don't Breathe, the first one, and a whole bunch of other ones. One of my favorite ones is... What is my favorite one? One of my favorite ones that I've first seen him in is Alexander in the No Good Horrible Day. Of course, me with kids, I have to watch something that has to do with children. But that was my first time seeing him. And I love the fact that they named him Wes again. Another thing is I like that they had Neve Campbell, which I heard, of course, I got to give you the tea, basically means the gossip, is that she did not want to do this Scream. She was so not aboard for this Scream movie. And the director had to practically plead with her. You know what? Please do this movie. And after some reconsideration and after speaking with her on numerous times, she went ahead and did it. So you know what? Maybe she needed a new car or something like that. She was like, I'll go ahead and take the money. But at first she's like, I am not doing another Scream. But you know what? She's come a long way since Party of Five. Yes. You're like, what age is this woman? I know I keep it together pretty good, but I have been around for a long time. Basically, TV raised me. But anyway, yes, so with her being in it, I mean, you can't have a Scream, really. A Scream that's been so long and have them come back without Neve Campbell. And that's what I loved about it. Another thing that I loved about it is having Courtney Cox and David Arquette. Now, they were originally married, but only for a short time. And it's so funny that they had to act like they were divorced inside of this movie because they're actually divorced in real life. And after listening to some of the comments that they were saying, it was hard for one of them to do those scenes. He became really emotional. I just told you who it was. It was David Arquette. He did not want to lose Courtney Cox because he said after filming these scenes, he was a little touched by it. He was a little emotional because being back on set with her and acting as a love interest from the past was very touching to him. It was hard for him to do those scenes with her because he hadn't seen her in a number of years as well. So for them to reunite on the place where they originally met and fell in love was really hard for him. Courtney Cox, no comment. But outside of that, I think they did really well at pulling these characters together. I love all of the young adult actors. I think they really held their own in each scene. I think that the kills were very unique. I think they were very innovative because at first they were kind of basic, but that's what I liked about it, that it was kind of basic. I did have a few drawbacks, you know, of course, the hospital. And I've heard other critics talk about the hospital. When have you ever seen a hospital where you didn't have no people in there? You know, so I was like, okay, that's a stretch. There is like nobody working, not even a janitor. There is nobody in this hospital. She's gonna die. She's gonna die. But I love that whole scene. I was a little aggravated, a little annoyed when Dewey, David Arquette's character, Dewey, he shoots him, but then he doesn't want to leave yet until he makes sure that he's dead by shooting him in the head, he says. So when he walks back up to him and he gets ready to shoot him, he gets a phone call. He looks at the phone and Dewey is gone. And I think that what irritated me is because when he first shot him and he had the other people with them, I felt like he should have ripped off the mask right there and we could have known who the killer was. So I was a little annoyed by that part, but outside of that, I think Dewey did his job in this movie. I was happy that they brought him back. He had that comic relief that just comes so naturally to him. I did like the ending, how it had the different twists and turns. I did like Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox, how they came together, because they were never friends in any of these Scream movies. So that's why I like the fact that she was able to build that friendship, that bond. I think they looked it great. Sometimes it's hard to stay in shape, and I think those women looked it good. I did like the fact that the ending was something, like I said, I expected but didn't expect because I thought it would be too obvious because it was the boyfriend. Because every time something happened, here he is, I'm on Netflix. You know, he was a very funny comedy relief as well. So I did like that they have that. I did like that it was the boyfriend. And I just think they did a really good job at this. You know, my last few reviews, they had to do with a lot of holiday specials, so I wasn't able to give it a score, a number. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a score of 8. And the reason why I could not give it a 10 is because, hey, it's not the original, but it's just as good. Until then, I'll see you next time.